I now call the hearing to order for the Finance and Tax Subcommittee of the Small Business Committee. In the current environment, businesses everywhere in every industry face a common problem. They cannot access affordable capital. This means that entrepreneurs are looking to expand and hire more workers cannot. It also means that small companies who want to borrow money to stay afloat are unable to secure credit. In previous downturns, when credit dried up, the Small Business Administration's lending programs helped fill in the gaps, providing firms the capital they need to drive the economy back towards prosperity. Unfortunately, in this recession, SBA's capital access programs have been unable to fill their traditional role, leaving many small businesses with very few options. Small businesses' capital challenges are not confined to the SBA lending programs. Commercial lending has been greatly restricted, and a recent Federal Reserve survey found that 69% of domestic lending institutions have tightened their lending standards on commercial and industrial loans. I'd argue it's much higher than that. Equity capital is also falling off. Venture capital investments were cut in half during the spring, making the second quarter in a row with a decline of more than 50%. The American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, which the President signed into law in February, took important steps towards addressing some of the small business capital needs. By making loans less expensive for small business borrowers and increasing government guarantees, this law will generate $20 billion in new lending authority. However, we are far from where we need to be. The number of 7A loans is down 50% compared to fiscal year 2008. Clearly, if we're going to meet small businesses' capital needs, much more needs to be done. Today, we have before us a set of proposals, all of them aimed at getting capital flowing to small businesses by modernizing SBA's programs, and I look forward to the panel's testimony on their value. As we discuss these proposals, we should keep three central goals in mind, in my opinion. First, we should work to broaden the range of options available to small businesses seeking capital. An SBA program that works for a family-owned business in Salem, Oregon may not be the right solution for a high-tech startup in Pittsburgh or a manufacturer in Akron, Ohio. Our efforts must help all types of firms access capital, whether they choose to raise capital through microloans, government-guaranteed loans, or equity investments. Second, we need to make capital more affordable. Being able to find a small business lender is one thing, securing a loan at terms that work for the borrower are another. And thirdly, we need to deal with how small businesses recover after natural disasters. Hurricane Katrina and other catastrophes, even on my Pacific coast, have made clear there are deep and long-standing problems with the SBA's disaster recovery initiatives. It is vital that we correct those problems. When disaster strikes, small businesses must have the resources they need to rebuild our communities and help restore economic prosperity. The challenges facing the small business community were not created in a day. Indeed, many of the problems in SBA's access to capital programs can be traced back to 8 years of neglect and mismanagement. These issues will take time and patience to resolve, but one thing is clear: if small firms are going to remain our country's primary job creators, they need access to capital, and that will require strengthening and improving the programs here in the Small Business Administration. With that, I'll recognize Ranking Member Mr. Buchanan for his opening statement.